watching My Pen His Purpose.
Pretty nice, right? So a funny thing happened the other day. Do you want to hear about it? I started somewhat of a discussion, if you will, on Facebook the other day. Let me tell you what happened. Right across the street from my house is the middle school bus stop. Some of the kids tend to get a little loud. Them being loud is not really the issue. However, some of the conversations they're having and the language they're using, maybe not so appropriate for kids their age. And apparently, that's just my opinion. You know what? I know kids their age are going to push the boundaries and do things that they're not supposed to be doing. I get that. But when the loudness combined with the language carries into my living room, Houston, we have a problem. You see, my 9 and 6-year-old can hear everything that they're saying. In fact, my 6-year-old was asking, "Daddy, why are they using such bad language?" It was difficult for me not to walk across the street and talk to the kids. Instead, what I did was try to give the parents a chance to handle it themselves. So I let folks know on Facebook. Hey, if you got a kid at this bus stop, they're not using such good language and they're being really loud. Could you please ask them to keep it down? I used more words than that, but you get the picture. I also made sure to tell folks that if it continues, I'm going to have to talk to them myself. I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to remind them that their language is inappropriate and they're being very loud, and there are other kids around that can hear it. Well, you know how Facebook goes. If you post something that people disagree with, they'll jump all over it, and they sure enough did. One of the primary arguments was, as long as they're not out there smoking crack and beating up on people, it's not that big of a deal. They didn't necessarily say smoking crack, they said using drugs. But smoking crack is funnier. Not actually like smoking crack, that's not funny. I'm just saying. It comes off better in comedy, okay? Look, forget about it. The point is that people said as long as they weren't doing other bad stuff, the cursing is not that much of an issue. To you it may not be, but to my kids' ears it is. I understand that some parents have a more liberal approach to parenting. They let their kids curse. Shoot, some parents let their kids drink with them. As long as they're not out there being criminals, what's wrong with it? Call me crazy, but that just doesn't make sense to me. But it's just my opinion. Regardless of what your parenting style may be, kids need boundaries. And in my house, cursing is a definite boundary. And you best not cross it. And if someone tells me they heard you cursing at school or at the bus stop, boy. Another thing that folks were upset about, don't nobody better talk to my kid. If I can't, you talk to my kid. Oh. One parent even said that if I hear that you're talking to my kid, the cops are going to be involved. What in the world? Raise your hand if you grew up in one of those neighborhoods where everybody was up in your business. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, pretty much everybody. Whatever happened to the it takes a village concept? Anytime I was ever acting a fool, there were plenty of adults around to tell me what I was doing wrong. And then they went and told my parents. How am I getting in trouble twice? Isn't that double jeopardy? I know that there are some adults out there that don't have a filter. They can turn into grumpy old mean Mr. Robinson from down the street. Hey, get off my grass! I surely wouldn't want any random adult being disrespectful to my kids. But if my kids are out there acting a fool, being all loud and cursing and stuff, tell them to stop. You better quit that. I'm gonna go tell your daddy now. It takes a village doesn't mean you have free range to parent my children. No, that's my job. But when we're all looking out for each other and our kids, it creates a culture of respect and civility. Respect for yourself and others, and civility in how you behave when you're out and about. I don't know. Living in a village sounds pretty cool to me. Thank you all for joining me on today's My Pen His Purpose. The expressed opinions of My Pen His Purpose belong solely to the handsome guy you see on the screen. If you enjoyed today's video, then share it to your heart's content. And don't forget to look out for our Just for Laughs videos. Those are a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for an all-new My Pen His Purpose coming soon. In the meantime, thank you all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. Or good day, depending on what time it is.